Hello everyone, how are you? Well, guys, India gets its third national education policy 2020s. It has plenty of changes. That is something what I am going to elaborate in this video in a very detailed way. The things that I have already prepared, so many things to talk, so much to talk. I mean, India gets new education policy after 34 years. Bachelors Day, new board exam pattern, among other changes, isn't it? So this video is going to be very interesting because the things I have already prepared, so many things to talk, and the things are going to be very interesting because this is something what associated with many of the students across India, right? New National Education Policy 2020. A look at the proposal on curriculum, courses, medium of learning, and the takeaways for student schools and universities. So, या वेडनेसडे को यूनियन कैबिनेट ने इसको अप्रूवल दे दिया. दैट इज नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, राइट? व्हाट पर्पस डज एन नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी सर्व? क्या पर्पस क्या है यार? उद्देश्य क्या है? मकसद क्या है? लेट्स टॉक अबाउट इट. वेल, NEP, that is National Education Policy, is a comprehensive framework है. डिटेल्ड एक फ्रेम है, एक ढांचा है. जैसे एक घर बनाते हो तो एक मैप बनाते हो कि यार यहाँ पे वॉशरूम होगा, यहाँ पे बाथरूम होगा, यहाँ पे डाइनिंग हॉल होगी, यहाँ पे गार्डनिंग के लिए होगी. मतलब 50 चीज़ें होती हैं to guide the development of education in the country, right? The need for a policy was first felt in 1964. 1964 में ये पहली बार एक ज़रूरत महसूस हुई, राइट? सो 1964 में लाल बहादुर शास्त्री was the prime minister at the time of 1964, right? Congress MP Siddheshwar Prasad criticized किया the government is lacking a vision and philosophy for education. Like, what the hell is going on? I mean, we don't have any vision, we don't have any philosophy, we don't have any particular, what is the purpose of our education? So he felt, he criticized a lot the government Lal Bahadur Shastri was running, right? So फिर क्या हुआ? 1964 में ही 17 member education commission headed by UGC chairperson DS कोठारी. 17 मेंबर का एक कमीशन बनाया गया जिसको हेड कर रहे थे UGC चेयरपर्सन DS कोठारी. वेल, उस समय DS कोठारी थे, राइट? was constituted to draft a national and coordinated policy on. बेसिकली ये जो 17 मेंबर्स थे जिसको हेड DS कोठारी कर रहे थे, उनका जो पर्पस था एक ड्राफ्ट को बनाना, एक ड्राफ्ट को राइट करना, एक ड्राफ्ट को फ्रेम आउट करना एज फार एज नेशनल एंड कोऑर्डिनेटेड एजुकेशन पॉलिसी इज़ कंसर्न, राइट? पार्लियामेंट में ये फर्स्ट टाइम पास हुआ 1968 में. मतलब पार्लियामेंट में ये पास हो गया. फर्स्ट एजुकेशन पॉलिसी जो था 1968 में पास हुआ अंडर द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंदिरा गांधी, राइट। इसका सेकेंड एजुकेशन पॉलिसी आया था 1986 में अंडर द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ राजीव गांधी, और 1992 में इसको रिवाइज किया था अंडर द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पीवी नरसिम्हा राव, राइट। नाउ थर्ड टाइम इट हैज been this policy came into existence, that is we are calling new national education policy, that is 2020, right? So this is under the government of BJP government, and the Prime Minister right now is Narendra Modi. He is the 14th Prime Minister of India. So first time the policy came in 1968 under the government of Indira Gandhi. Then in 1986, second time policy came into existence under the government of Rajiv Gandhi, and the third time, that is in 2020, came under the government of PM Narendra दामोदर दास मोदी, राइट। सो यार इसमें बहुत सारे चीज़ें हैं जिस पे अभी मैं बात करने वाला हूँ, राइट। सो व्हाट आर द थिंग्स मोर अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दिस, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट इन अ मच डिटेल वे, राइट। हियर वी गो। Oh my gosh, I have this is not working. Let me, oh man, it's like, wait, hold on. Well, what are the key takeaways? मतलब बेसिकली हमें क्या मुख्य takeaways, मतलब क्या मिलने वाला है? Let's talk about it. The national education policy proposes sweeping change, including opening up of Indian higher education to foreign universities. What? Yeah, once again I would like to read it out. The national education policy proposes sweeping changes, including opening up of Indian higher education to मतलब फॉरेन कंट्रीज़ यहाँ पर इन जो हमारा इंडियन हायर एजुकेशन है वो फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के कैरिकुलम को यहाँ पे इनकलकेट कर सकते हैं। दैट्स ग्रेट। Dismantling of UGC and All India Council for Technical Education, introduction of 4-year multidisciplinary undergraduate program with multiple exit options, and discontinuation of MPhil program. In school education, the policy focuses on overhauling the curriculum, easier board exams, a reduction in the syllabus to retain core essential, and thrust on experimental learning and critical thinking. This is something what I really appreciate, because the thing we study in our school is most of the things are absurd nonsense. There is no use of it, right? So this is something what is a good policy to have, right? In a significant shift from the 1986 policy, which posed for 10+2 structure of school education, the new national education policy pitches for 5+3+3+4 design, corresponding to the age 3 to 8 years foundational stage, 8 to 11 preparatory stage, 11 to 14. 11 to 14 means 11 to 14 of age is the middle, and the 14 to 18 is secondary. This brings early childhood education, also known as preschool education, for children of ages 3 to 5 under the ambit of formal schooling. The midday meal program will be extended to preschool children. Okay, the NEP says, National Educational Policy says, students until class 5 should be taught in their mother tongue or regional language. That's great. What about English, man? The global language, global language, global language. The policy also proposes phasing out of all institutional offering single stream, and that all university and college must aim to become multidisciplinary by 2040, right? Well, how will these reforms be implemented, right? कैसे ये जो रिफॉर्म्स हैं वो कैसे इम्प्लीमेंट होने वाले, कैसे कार्यान्वित होने वाले हैं? लेट्स टॉक अबाउट इट. The National Educational Policy only provides a broad direction and is not mandatory to follow. Since education is a concurrent subject, both center and the state government can make laws on it. The reform proposed can only be implemented collaboratively by the center and the states. This will not happen immediately. The incumbent government has set a target of 2014 to implement the entire policy. Huge, bro. I mean, till 2040, this all the policies are going to be implemented. It's huge. It's 20 more years going to take to implement all those things. So for the time being, relax, bro. The things are going to be not to be changed. The things are going to be remain as like we are, the stewards of education, where there's most of the things we read that is useless, bogus, nonsense, and there's no use of it, right? Anyway, sufficient funding is also crucial. The 1968 National Education Policy was hamstrung by a shortage of fund. Okay, the government plans to set up subject-wide committee with members from relevant ministry at both the state and state levels to develop implementation plan for each aspect of the NEP. Well, NEP is like National Education Policy. All the time to say NEP is such time, right? The plans will list out action to be taken by multiple bodies, including the HR Ministry, State Education Department, the School Board, NCERT, Central Advisory Board of Education, and National Testing Agency, among others. Planning will be followed by a yearly joint review of progress against target set, right? What is the next thing in this? I would love to tell you what does the emphasis on mother tongue regional language mean for English medium school. It makes sense. The question is very valid. मतलब हम इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल में या मदर टोन और रीजनल लैंग्वेज पे एम्फेसिस कर रहे हैं, इसका क्या रोल है, ऐसा हम क्यों कर रहे हैं? लेट्स टॉक अबाउट इट, राइट? Some such emphasis is not new. Most government schools in the country are doing this already. As for private school, it is dubious that they will be asked to change the medium of instruction. Senior minister official clarified to the Indian Express that the provision on mother tongue as medium of instruction was not compulsory for state education is the concurrent subject, which is why the policy clearly states that the kids will be taught in the mother tongue or regional language wherever possible. It's not like mandatory sort of thing. If it is possible, it's like यूपी बिहार नॉर्थन स्टेट्स में क्या होता है यार, ज़्यादा यहाँ पे हिंदी बोलते हैं, राइट. सो यहाँ पे यार if it is feasible, of course here things are much feasible like Hindi. मैम बाहर पानी पी लें, this is something where you can stand where. However, they story in English medium school, right? The officer said. What about people in transferable jobs or children of multilingual parents? The NEP does not say anything especially on children of parents with transferable jobs, but acknowledge children living in multilingual family. Teachers will be encouraged to use bilingual approach, including bilingual teaching learning material with those students whose home language may be different from the medium of instructions, right? Oh man, so much to talk about this national education policy. How does the government plan to open higher education to foreign players? The document states university from among the top 100 in the world will be able to set up campuses in India. While it doesn't elaborate the parameter to define the top 100, the incumbent government may use the QS World University Ranking as it has relied on this in the past while selecting universities for the Institute of Eminence status, right? However, none of this can start unless the HRD Minister brings in a new law that includes detail of how foreign university will operate in India. It is not clear if a new law would enthuse the best university ever to set up campuses in India in 2030. At the time the UPS again was trying to pose a similar bill, the Indian Express had reported the top 20 global universities, including Yale, Cambridge, MIT, and Stanford University of Edinburgh and Bristol had shown no interest in entering the Indian market. Participation of foreign universities in India is currently limited to them entering into collaborative training programs, sharing faculty with partnering institutions, and offering distance education. Over 650 foreign education providers have such arrangements in India. How will the 4-year multidisciplinary bachelors program work? This page interestingly comes 6 years after Delhi University was forced to scrap such a 4-year undergraduate program at the incumbent government behest. Under the 4-year program proposed in the new national education policy, students can exit after 1 year with a certificate, after 2 years with a diploma, after 3 years with a bachelor degree. That's great. I mean, इफ़ अगर तुमने 1 साल का किया तो तुम्हें सर्टिफिकेट मिल जाएगा, 2 साल का किया तो डिप्लोमा मिल जाएगा, 3 साल का लिया तो तुम्हें बैचलर की डिग्री मिल जाएगी. 4-year bachelor programs generally include certain amount of research work and the student will get deeper knowledge of the subject he or she decides to major in. After 4 year, a BA student should be able to enter research degree program directly depending on how well he or she has performed. However, master's degree program will continue to function as they do following, which a student may choose to carry on for PhD program, said scientist and former UGC chairman V.S. Chauhan. What impact will doing away with the MPhil program have? I mean MPhil प्रोग्राम को टर्मिनेट करने की प्लानिंग है एज पर द नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020, right? Johan said that this should not affect higher education trajectory at all. In normal course after master degree, a student can register for PhD program. This is current practice almost all over the world. In most universities, including those in the UK, Oxford carries other MPhil was a middle research degree between a master and PhD. Those who have entered MPhil more often than not ended their studies with PhD degree. MPhil degree have slowly been passed out in favor of a direct PhD program, right? Will the focus on multidiscipline not dilute the character of single stream institutions such as IITs? Well, the IIT are already moving in that direction. IIT Delhi has humanities department and set up a public policy department recently. The IIT Kharagpur has a school of medical science and technology asking about multiple discipline. IIT Delhi Director V. Ram Gopal Rao said some of the best universities in the US, such as MIT, have very strong humanities department. Take the case of civil engineering. Knowing how to build a dam is not going to solve a problem. He needs to know the environmental and social impact of building the dam. Many engineers are becoming entrepreneurs, so they not know something about economics. A lot more factors go into anything related to engineering today, right? So this is the end of the National Education Policy 2020 is concerned. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this video and learned a lot, and I think you got it. What is this all about? National Education Policy is concerned. If you want to read it out, you can go to the government official or simply write it down, National Education Policy, on any of the search engine. I'm not saying to just go to Google and all. Google is not the only search engine, bro. There's so many other search engines as well. You can go and download the PDF if you want to read it out, all the things by yourself. But I think I have explained the things in a much decent way, though I don't think so you need to read it out once again. The things are very much clear. I mean, most of the things are very much clear, like the things, what, but the thing is the PDF or the document government has uploaded, that is a different one, and the government has carried one PDF or the PDF be like what is called the PPT and all, that is totally different as for the NDTV news is concerned, right? So this is something what really very interesting to know, whether the document government has is the same one as they have uploaded on internet, right? So this is really a matter of great concern. Anyway, till now, as of whatever things it was written in the national education policy is very clear cut. I don't think so it's difficult to understand the meaning of it. If you are finding any source of difficulty, comment down below. I will write to read it out for you, make it more lucid for you. And if you want to know where to download and this, I have given the link in description box. From there you can download all the documents given by the government, right? So this is me signing off from this video. Have a great time to yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like my videos.